Waiting.
uh, don't you have some kind of music, like elevator music?
Me? Oh,
I was just kidding.
okay, sorry.
You can
I think,
sing a song or something.
I think, oh, we started. Okay, I think we are online then, right?
Cool.
Yeah, welcome everyone. This is the third session, I think, for this event. And today we are with Mr. Tilman. And we will have a little chat. So let me introduce Mr. Tilman. Mr. Tilman is a designer and a professor for digital experience design at the design faculty of Nuremberg Institute of Technology. And he has been creating and sharing minimal compositions based on geometric shapes and published them on his blog since 2012. So, yeah. How are you, Tilman, today?
Oh, I'm fine. It's springtime. The sun shines into my window right now. Hi, great to see you. Hi, nice for inviting me. It's my pleasure.
Thank you for accepting our invitation. Really, thank you for your involvement.
No problem. Let me just add that Tilman is my first name, just for the record. Everything else was right, but of course, Tilman is it's an unusual first name even here, so it's totally okay. So sometimes people just call me Mr. Tilman. It's totally okay, but it's my first name.
I'm sorry. Oh, really?
No problem.
Okay. So I will start with some warm-up questions. Okay. So,
sure.
Okay, I'm starting. So first question is actually a classical one. What led you to start the Geometry Daily project, actually?
I was in 2012. I've been away from working at the normal graphic design agency. I was working for like 7 years or so, and had 2 little kids at that time. And I took a year off work and just stayed at home with the kids. And from one day to the other, I wasn't designing anything anymore. It was a shock for me. So I was thinking, I need to do something. I need to create something. I need to get creative some way. And so I remember that I really enjoy doing minimal graphics, like for logos and other times. And I challenged myself to do one graphic each day. So I called it Geometry Daily, and I set up a Tumblr, and it was just it's a challenge for me, just to get my creative juices flowing again, while staying at home and looking after the kids. And it was pretty possible to do for me because the things you see here, it's not a long time you have to do each one of these. But I challenged myself to do it like daily and publishing one each day. And first it was just fun for me and nobody noticed. But in the end of the year, a whole lot of people came and followed me on my Tumblr. And of course, it was just very motivating for me, and just kept going and kept going. And I kept going until the year was over. And then I didn't stop. And I think I did like 300 or 400 in a row daily. And it's still a lot of fun. I had to take a pause now, and I'm doing it not regularly anymore. I just picked up for I think 2 or 3 seasons again where I started posting daily again. But of course I couldn't keep that up since 2012.
There's a question about that continuity, like a chain you did. You did it for an entire year. There was a question about. There's a question about it, but we will get to it.
Okay, I can see any questions. Just tell me if there's one.
Okay. Next question. Actually, from your work, we can understand you have an interest in geometry.
Yes, right? Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Also in
what
a mathematics sense, actually. I mean, that's the graphics are all about aesthetics and beauty, but I'm also very interested in the
aesthetics?
mathematics behind them.
Oh,
I'm not just an artist. I'm always interested in mathematics, and that's just one thing leads to another, I think.
mathematics and geometry. It's actually, I was gonna say, what inspires your love for geometry? I mean, it's just from your childhood, from your education, or
Hmm. I wouldn't say that mathematics at school was very inspiring, to be honest. But then, as a designer, I always tended to do minimal stuff. And of course, if you walk around in the world and see nature, nature's a really big source of inspiration for me. Also like architecture and other pieces of art. And of course, there are other artists that worked with geometry, like Max Bill and the Bauhaus and stuff like that. And that just that inspired me to do my own exploration in that world.
Oh, wow. So geometry is really the nature.
Yes, absolutely. It's when I started doing it, it felt like the great artist, that's doing great graphics. But the longer it took, then I realized that it's not me doing stuff. It's more like I explore geometric shapes and minimal lines and squares and triangles and put them together. And it's not like I create something, it's more like I discover something. I discover how things can be combined and what the results are. And of course, I always remembered, oh, there's this rule in mathematics, and there's Pythagoras,
Yeah, Pythagoras.
and Thales circle and stuff like that, and it's all very beautiful. And it's more like I explore a really big universe of possibilities, and I find something. It's not like I create something; it's more like I find something, and the beauty is already there. I just have to make it visible.
So you say I discover actually something I don't create. It's just there and you find it. It's like
exactly, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, the next question is a really basic one. How do you draw your graphics?
Well, it looks analog, like I would print everything on paper, but I don't actually. All the graphics you see on the Tumblr, on the Geometry Daily website, it's all done digitally. I start in Illustrator and dabble around with lines and shapes and see where this gets me. Sometimes I first do a little sketch on paper when I'm on the way somewhere and I have an idea, and I just scribble it down. But the most of the work is done in Illustrator. I have really, really big Illustrator files with a lot of shapes and little ideas, and then I combine something and see how that goes. Then I take one idea and then I export the vectors to a Photoshop file. And I have this, I think I have 10 photos of different sheets of paper, all the same size. And I use them, and then I simulate silk screen printing in Photoshop with texturing and the paper photograph. And then I multiply the different channels, the different colors, and that it looks like I would have been silk screen printing on paper, but I'm not, of course, because that would have been just too much work. But that's the way it works.
Oh, I get it. So it's Illustrator program you're using and you're doing.
Yes, I know. I'm not sure if you know. Adobe Illustrator is one of the really big graphic design programs. If you're doing stuff with vectors, the probability is pretty high that you're using Illustrator. Of course, there's different. I don't want to advertise Illustrator here because Adobe is not my favorite software company.
Oh,
There are a lot of really interesting functions hidden in Illustrator. Like there's, if you look closely, you find functions that that allow you to transform your shapes randomly, and that's a really interesting way of doing graphics, because you can do a lot of randomly arranged combinations really fast, and then pick the one you liked the best. And
oh,
that's, of course, that's one of the secret weapons I use in Illustrator.
oh, nice. So, if you want, can you show something? If
Oh,
you want,
yes,
okay.
we already prepared that. I kick your screen sharing out.
Okay, so
Show.
can share your screen, yeah.
Well, for those who haven't seen it already, that's the website. It's geometrydaily.tumblr.com. If you want to follow, there's a lot of things to see there. These are the last ones I did, and you see Seite 1 of 41. It's you can go on and go on and on and
There's so
scroll and
many.
scroll and scroll. I like to use the archive because there's a much better overview there.
Okay.
So you see the last things, the last graphic I did was in June 2021. And it goes back to, there was a major gap here. That's between 2015 and 2021. And then I think there in July 2013, now it goes back to when I started. And for, well, I like, of course, I like them all because I, in a way, it's not about this one graphic that's really beautiful or something. It's more like doing them all together in a row. And I think I got to explorations I wouldn't have been if I just I kept going and going, and then you see stuff that you wouldn't have thought possible. Actually, I was thinking when I started, that's the first one from January 2012. When I started, I thought I would do it like for maybe a month or two, but then it was pretty clear pretty fast that one idea leads to another, and that leads to another, and it will never end. It's I could do it like for the next 300 years, and that it wouldn't have a problem. Actually, I was thinking while when you do the 500th graphic, I would have expected that I do things I already have done, but to be honest, that doesn't really matter. Maybe 2 or 3 times I was thinking, oh, I had this already, but the possibilities are so endless. There's so much complexity there that I don't think anybody will ever find an end there, even if you have like rules. For example, at the starting, when I started, I did a lot with textured, with colored paper. I dropped that, and sometimes around, I think it was July or so, I started to pick up the rule that there should be only 4 printed colors and not more. So I reduced it, and still the possibilities are endless. I picked some. Maybe I can show you some of my favorites. Well, if that's I like them all, of course. I picked some
Best ones.
pieces that I like a lot, and I can talk about it a bit. For example, this one, it looks pretty complex, but actually it's not that complex. If you look closely, it's a repeating pattern of equilateral triangles, and 2 patterns. It's one pattern with the green ones here. At first, all the triangles are snapped together, so they fill the whole surface. And then I took this. Well, actually, I can show you how it's constructed in my Illustrator file.
Oh, brilliant. Nice.
That's the the pattern behind. I have this one pattern of triangles filling the space, the surface, and then I turned it by 90 degrees, and I had to scale it down a bit so this pattern matches the pattern below. And you already see that this is getting really complex, although these triangles, this pattern of triangles is pretty boring actually. But putting it one on the other, it's getting very interesting. It's also still repeating, so it's not that interesting. And the next thing I did was putting these two patterns one over the other in two different colors. And a simulated silkscreen printing, so I get this overlaps, and then in these two patterns I randomly erased triangles. So it's more like randomly holes in there, and of course even in one color this gets mighty interesting, I think. But when you do it with these two patterns one over the other, the possibilities just explode, and that's one of these really interesting moments when I sit at night. I sit alone on Illustrator, and then says, "Oh my God, look at that!" It's because there's so much going on now. You can see so many different sections and shapes and overlaps. I think I could do this like 100 times and is still interesting. That's for example, this is one of my favorites. This is also a favorite of mine because it's so simple. It's two equilateral black triangles meshed together. Actually, it's not that different from this one. I think that's number 185. I think when I started it, I wouldn't have dared to do something so minimal, because I was afraid that people would say, well, it's just two triangles. Where's the beauty in that? But if after 180, I think I can, I was daring enough to do something like this. And I think it's pretty interesting because it's two totally exact same triangles, and one is just 90 degrees rotated, and then they just match on this one corner. And there's so much going on, even with those two triangles. There's so many different angles and orientations, and as I'm not sure if you like it, but I like that a lot. Or this one is pretty nice because it's just circles and circles and circles. Just one circle, that's the mask for the other circles. That's one pretty nice. That one's pretty nice. I think that was the December 31st, 2012. So it was after the first year. The basis of this is, of course, you all know the golden ratio, I think. The golden ratio can also be applied to angles, not just to shapes or surfaces, but to angles. And if you use the golden angle, you can do like phylotactic spirals. I think you've seen that all. And then I just took the points and then I connected them with lines, and this beautiful pattern appears. Should I go on? Sarpa, you stop me.
Actually, you can go on, but there was a question that
yes. We are not so many people, so if hello audience, if you want to know anything, just ask. I think you can use the chat function.
Yeah. Actually, you can go on if you want. I think you can go on. Then we would.
I keep it open, so if somebody has a question for about one of these, especially, then just ask.
Okay. I think they are not allowed to speak. They can ask their questions from the chat. You can, actually,
if you want to refer to one of these graphics, you just have to look at the number here. So it's pretty easy to pick it out again. I like this one a lot. that's a Fibonacci sequence. I think everybody knows it, right? It's the 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and so on. And I applied that to the radius of circles. If you look really closely, you see the first 2 circles in here, and then it goes on and on and on. And I think that's very interesting relationships appear, even if it's just green circles. I like that one a lot. Maybe that's a good occasion to see how a lot of Geometry Daily graphics are created. I started with a square and equilateral triangle with the same width, and I just put it next to each other with this one corner snapped together. And then I just took, I used the, well, the digital scales, I think. What's the word for circle in German? Is it scales? You know what I mean? The instrument you use to draw circles on.
Okay, I think I don't know it in English, but it's.
You know what I mean?
It's Turkish. Yeah.
Okay.
I think you. Okay. I get
well,
it.
I just took 2 corners here and then did circles around that, and even with these 4 very simple shapes, there's already appearing like very interesting intersections, like this one here or this one, and it's getting these 3 smaller shapes here, and of course the bigger shapes here, and it starts to actually starts to sing because there's so much going on. It's in angles, in shapes, in surfaces, and some in corner angles, and the smooth round shapes of the 2 circles. And then I think I added 2 colors, right? Yeah, to keep it a little bit more interesting, but I don't even really think I would have to do that, because it's still in black and white would be very interesting.
Oh, I think there is a question.
Yes, questions, please.
Hello, thank you for presenting. I really like those. I could not understand how you exactly used golden ratio to connect the lines in the previous figure that is built by connection lines. Could
This
you
one?
describe it further, please? Said Özgür. Thank you for the question.
Okay. Well, let me think. I wish I had a version of this graphic with just the dots, because there was maybe let me think. I think I did one. Oh, this one. Exactly. That's what I wanted to look for. I think everybody's seen like patterns like this.
Yeah.
I don't think I can really get into this detail how this is done. In the end, it's just circles.
Sometimes they are connected, I think.
Yes. Well, it's something like this with a little bit more dots, with more detail. I took that, and then I started to connect them in however I would like. So there's not a rule. I think that's the center, and I connected the dots next to the center, and then of course the dots get more and more the further I get outside, away from the center. So I have to decide where I want to split the lines. But that's pretty randomly. I just did it in, I don't know how long it took, but it took some time, I think. And I just decided myself where I want to have splitting it into more lines, so I can connect each of the dots. And of course, the dots are erased in the end, and that's what was the result of that. I had this on a T-shirt, actually.
Wow.
I hope that that cleared something up. So if hope that's an answer for a question. If it's not, just ask again.
Oh, I think it's cleared up, because he said thank you. Thank you, Özgür, for your question. Yeah, can go to next one, I think.
Yes, I have this. Oh, yeah. You just, I don't have to look at the chat, right? Just do it for me.
I'm doing it.
Well,
Don't
well,
worry.
I think we have seen that one. That's in a way,
Oh,
it's the same way of working. It's just that it's more complicated and there's more overlapping and more. Just went further and didn't use lines. Used shapes, and then the shapes, when they overlap, of course, other colors appear. I think it's just one blue color and yellow, and I can't remember what the color of this one is because it's overlapped everywhere. I think it's green or something. I'm not sure, but that's interesting what silkscreen printing does, because it's all multiplying over each other, and there's so many interesting colors appearing. And in a way, it's
okay.
the way I did it is pretty related.
You used a tree color there, and then
I think it's three colors. Yes, it's the blue and it's the yellow, and I can't remember what this this part of the circle is, but well, with very interesting colors, I think. I like that one a lot. That's pretty new, and it's totally simple. It's just 4 squares next to each other, and one half of the square is printed blue. What I like about that is it seems to have a rule, like the blue triangles always point to the next square in counterclockwise. So like this points there, and this points there, and this points there, and then this one's misbehaving because it's not pointing in that direction. Then it would be still would be beautiful, I think. It was like a windmill or something, but I don't know how I came to put it the other way around, but I like it a lot. It's for me, it's like a visual joke or something because it doesn't fit here. And I think I always like to have simple rules, and I like to break that rule on one place. I also, as you've seen, I really like random shapes, random compositions a lot, and I like to break rules. And I think that's the point in this graphic.
laxity. Yeah.
Yeah, and laxity is all the each one has a name, but it's I wouldn't dig too deep there. It's more like I like that they have
Actually,
names, not just the number.
I like the names, actually. There are a few.
Okay.
I wanna...
Yeah, it's interesting to give the graphics like a direction of interpretation or something, and it's not just abstract anymore. That's also one of those. It feels like research for me, actually. I took a hexagon and a pentagon is the word, I think, and a square, and I wanted to know. I just moved them around and around and around, and then this hexagon, if I put it halfway over the square and the pentagon also halfway over the square, I have this very interesting intersection. That's I didn't come up with that. That's not my creation. It's just it's a result, and it's not. You could say it's a random shape, but I don't think it's random because if you look at the angles, they are all defined by the shapes that were the origin of them. So I like this a lot. Also the coloring. I think it's that. Then I took this shape and used it for the last one I did, like 600.
Oh, this is the intersection, right?
Yeah, that's just the intersection. I scaled it up and colored it black, and that's it.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot. But I hope I didn't get away too many of my secrets, so it gets boring. But that's the way I work. Actually, I think I can stop now. I could go on and on if you have like 3 hours or 2 days. I can go on explaining stuff like that.
I'm sorry. Oh,
I
thank
think
you.
it's enough, is it?
Yeah, okay, we can go on to the next question, but we figured out there are some connections between the graphics, right?
Yes, of course, yeah.
Okay, actually, next question is, oh, You did in 2012. You did this for an entire year and every day, right? So
Exactly.
actually, I was gonna ask, how were you able to maintain this daily post for an entire year? And actually, when you're doing that, I think you need to be creative. Uh, I mean, you need discipline and also you need creativity, right?
Well, yeah.
How are
Yep, understand the question, I think. Well, maybe I'm a bit stubborn just. When I started it, it was pretty easy. And I think the point is, I think if I wouldn't have like built an audience, well, I did it for two months, at least 2 months, and nobody noticed it. But then something, I don't know where that came from, but Tumblr, I just picked up followers on Tumblr. And of course, that was a lot of motivation, to be honest. So I'm not sure if I would have done it for a year if I wouldn't have had the feeling that people are watching and liking what I do. But of course, that's well, I think that's how artists work, right? If you have the feeling that somebody's watching and somebody really likes what you do, you just keep going. And of course, if you do it like half a year or something, of course you have like downs or days when you don't want to do it and you're just busy doing different stuff. But well, sometimes I think it was one or two night shifts actually. So I was going to bed and say, "Oh my God, I didn't do a graphic," and you do it just because you want to break the queue. You don't want to break the sequence.
okay. Oh, you
That
don't
would
want
have
to.
been really. I would have been embarrassed if I broke the chain after like 300.
Oh,
So,
I
I was
get it.
thinking. I was thinking if I stop it after a year, and I think I took a month off actually. But then I
Yeah.
picked it up, and I was so motivated, and I had so much ideas still on my Illustrator boards. I wanted to go on.
So it was kind of a challenge for you, right?
Yes. And I recommend that a lot because this doing one thing, even it's just a small thing and it's just basic and simple, but you do it each day, you get further and further and further, and just the small steps are really adding up into really big steps. And actually, now talking about it, I just miss doing it. I think I have to pick it up again.
So, I was gonna ask, actually, it seems you haven't posted since, like you said, 2021, I think.
Mhm.
Um, what have you been working on recently, or do you have a plan to start daily post again?
Um, Well, of course, my full-time job is pretty different. I'm teaching at the design faculty, and I teach people to design websites and how to design interfaces for apps and a little bit into extended reality, 3D environments, but it's all design stuff. So that's my main job, and I'm pretty busy doing that.
Oh,
And working at it, I think you know how that works in a university. There's a lot of, it's not just teaching, it's so much going on around like researching and
yeah.
talking to people and talking to students. And I like that a lot. It's a great job and I'm really happy to have it. And I started to do some research. Well, in a way, it comes out of doing Geometry Daily, because I think you're all millennials and you know how social media works, and that social media is has some flaws.
Yeah.
And the Twitter's going down, and Facebook is going into non-existence. Things like MySpace are going down. I think I'm not even sure if you know what MySpace was, and it's pretty clear that we need some new generation of social media, and I think it has to be on much more open and not based on big tech companies That's what I'm working right now. We were working on software apps to for better, more open, more controlled social media. Like Mastodon is a big. I think everybody has heard about Mastodon, but that's only one software solution, and we are working on new stuff. And in a way, well, maybe I want to have this new wave of social media because I want to be creative and post stuff like my geometry to get daily graphics again, because I don't think it would work on Tumblr again as it did in 2012.
Oh, I get it. Wow. So you are busy to challenge yourself again, I think, right?
Yeah, that would be nice, yes.
Özgür asked another question, but I think that's one of our questions, and it is the last
Oh,
one.
yes.
Yeah,
Of
yeah.
course.
We will come to that, Özgür. It is our last question. It's about generative AI models.
Mm. Yeah.
We will get to it. Okay, so actually, I will ask. You said minimal design, right? Your designs are minimal. So what can be considered as a minimal design according to you? I mean, minimal design, when you said minimal design, how can you define it? Minimal.
Yes, in my opinion, well, I can relate that a lot to the geometry daily graphics. I think if there's only one idea in the graphic, and you cannot, well, it's a clear idea, and you cannot remove anything without losing the idea, then I think it's minimal. If there's like two ideas or one and a half idea, the idea isn't clearly executed, then it's not minimal anymore. Then it's that it has some kind of decoration or something, and then it's not minimal anymore. If you cannot reduce it without losing the idea, then it's minimal.
Oh, if you can remove anything without losing the idea,
yeah,
it's minimal. Oh, that's how you define. Oh, that's nice. Okay. So it's next question is kind of personal one. I mean, for me, I said your artwork, your graphics has a calming effect on me. I mean, when I look at it, I just relaxed. I feel really nice, actually.
Oh, good, thank you.
Which I believe it's due to maybe minimal design.
Mhm.
Have you ever received a similar feedback before?
Yes, I did. Actually,
Really?
yes, of course. A lot of people are saying that.
Wow.
Maybe it's about this minimal. Maybe it's about, well, today we are bombarded with a lot of information and images and stuff from everywhere. Maybe looking at something minimal, like with a clear idea, without any decoration or fuss around it, I think it helps us concentrate or something.
Yeah.
But still, I think the point is it's not too simple. If you look at it, you find, well, I hope you find some kind of beauty in there. And it's not like you've seen it and then you have it and you look at something else. But I think you can, a lot of people have printed my graphics and put it on the wall. And I think that I'm very thankful for them, actually, because that says a lot about the graphics. If people are putting it on the wall, you have to, you see it every day. And each time you have a look at it, you get something out of it, even if it's just super minimal. But I can repeat that I don't think that's the quality of my creative work. It's more like the quality of geometry and the rules in there and the beauty which is already there in the rules of geometry and in nature. I think you can say, you can even put it in a religious sense. and say it's like you see a God there, like there's sense in our world, in the essence of the world, in the rules. Maybe that's what I feel when I've see the graphics, even if it's graphic not by me. As I said, Max Beer is a great influence of mine, or Kandinsky, or these artists that already worked in that field.
Oh, I think I will print out one of your graphics.
I sold prints someday, but I can send you some. I think I have some here, but the shop is down now because it was just too much work sending out paper into the world. I don't do it anymore. I don't have the time anymore.
Oh, the Fibonacci's left eye is my favorite.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like that a lot. I understand. I know what you mean.
I think I can show it, right? I can share my screen and
Yeah,
show
sure.
it to the audience. Fibonacci's left eye.
I'm really proud about the title, actually.
It's so good title.
Thank you.
That's, I think it was where it was. Oh my God, I lost it.
That one, yeah. That is also it's also related to Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah, probably I said yes, it is related to Fibonacci's sequence because it says
I'm not sure if I would put that on the wall because looks like really like a big eye. Big brother's watching you. Fibonacci is watching you.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. Also, there's this.
Yeah, Serkan is a question exactly. The Fibonacci sequence is used as the radii of these circles, and then just put them one over the other.
Oh,
I'm not sure if we can read that. I think it's 2 and 3 and 5. Yeah, I think each the next circle is the radius of one circle is the sum of the radii of those two circles before. Does that make sense? I'm not sure, but it's based on Fibonacci actually.
Oh,
it's a really great composition rule, the Fibonacci sequence. I can do a lot of these, a lot of stuff with the only these numbers.
Radiuses are related to Fibonacci sequence. Okay, so I think you answered the question, right, from the chat. Okay. Okay, so so the next one actually is about AI, generative art. You know, I don't know if you heard of it, but with the recent
of course I did. Who wouldn't?
AI models now able to create art. I don't know if you say that art, but actually my question is, what is your opinion on these artworks? I mean, do you consider them as to be legitimate art, or
yes, I do.
Do you consider the model as an artist?
Yeah, these are tough questions. I'm not sure if I really have a definite answer on that, but I think for me, I think it is art because I think the generative algorithms, they are another tool. It's like you get a new brush or something, or a new kind of software, and then now it's those AI algorithms and stuff like Stable Diffusion and Midjourney and DALL-E 2 and stuff like that, and you can use it. I like the idea that everybody's able to use it. Use them on the internet, so people can get creative even if they don't have any kind of artistic education. But the point is, these models are trained on images, on a lot of images, like really gigantic masses of imagery, and you only get out of these generative algorithms what you put in. So it's more like you can get creative because there are combinations that were not there before. But you cannot break out of that. If you want to do something really new, something out of the box, I don't think that's really possible right now with the algorithms we have. Maybe in the future that gets different if AI is more capable of doing more complex combinations and even like randomize more and get into realms that weren't already there. Maybe then it gets even better, but now the algorithms we have right now is more like they combine things that were already there. That's in a way that's a value of its own, but I don't think you can do the really big next leap in art will be from artificial intelligence. I think we will see a lot of generated art in the next years, a lot of them. But I think I already are pretty I get tired of seeing generated art because you well, as far as you recognize that it's generated, I'm pretty tired right now about it. So, but let's see what the future brings. That's all I can say.
Oh, okay, I get it. Yeah. So you're saying they're generated in a big trained data, and actually now they combine things and output them, and actually in the next few years, maybe we can get a real creativity with the
whatever that means, real creativity. Nobody knows.
Yeah,
Nobody knows what
real
intelligence is really. So let's see where it gets us. But I'm pretty well. I'm relaxed. I mean, you read about people that are like freaking out and say the computers are taking over the world and they will eliminate all humans or something like. I don't think that will happen.
Yeah, I don't think that will happen too. I mean, it's more like a science fiction right now.
Maybe we are just naive and we'll get erased in a year. I don't think so.
So, I was gonna show some AI generated artworks.
Yeah, sure. Do we have time? You look at the clock, right?
Oh, I think we have a few minutes. We
cool.
have 3 minutes cool. Actually, but like I said to you last week, I said I will try to reproduce your graphics with AI model, but I couldn't do it because that was really, I mean, it was nothing alike. So maybe it's because my prompting skills, I mean, you give model some inputs to create them, but I don't know, it was really bad.
Then I'm happy about this.
Actually, okay, I need to find it. Sorry for wait.
No problem. I think.
Okay, just a little. Just
to look at that. How many people are there? Hello, audience. 15 people. Hi. It's good.
We are still better than AI, Özgür said. Yes, we are. So, okay, I find it. I was trying to generate this one. Everyone can see my screen, right? Okay, I was trying to generate this one and it gives me this. It gives me this 4 thing. I will make it smaller. So it's so crowded, it's not minimal, I think, and also is 3D. I tried to input like 2D, do it 2D, like I said, but it doesn't create 2D. I don't know why, but it's like, yeah, the most closer one, the most closer one I get is this one, but I don't know. yeah, that was it.
It's not that bad actually, but it's different, of course.
Yeah, it's really different and it's not minimal. I don't relax when I look at it.
Yeah, I can understand what you mean. Yeah.
So okay, that was it for me. I mean, my questions came to an end.
Good.
So if anyone have a question, they can ask. We are 6 minutes past actually, but it was good. If anyone doesn't have a question, thank you for the presentation. Thank you, Özgür.
Thank you for watching. It was really a
Thank you
pleasure.
for watching. And
Thanks
thank you
for
for
your
your
questions,
involvement, Tilman. I'm really appreciate that. Thank you for your involvement. And also I want to thank Turkish Mathematics Club team for organizing this event. Especially thank you, Layda. Thank you
Cool.
so much. Okay. Cool. Yes. I think we can go offline now.
Yes.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Alper hatıra fotoğrafı.
Oh, oh.